I hope whatever disease you people carry stays on your side of the street and doesn't infect my grandchildren. That's what she screamed at me. I mean, really, who says that to a neighbor at 7:30 in the morning? No, good morning. No, hey, could you move your vehicle a bit? Just straight up venom from another era. You ever have a day start so sideways, so fast, that you wonder if maybe you should just go back to bed and try again tomorrow? Yeah, that was me. The sun was still wiping sleep from its eyes, air crisp enough to sting your lungs, and there I was in my own driveway, standing next to the Wanderer, my RV, my escape pod, my midlife badge of freedom. I'd spent the weekend getting it perfect for a trip I'd dreamed about for months. Chrome shined, paint gleamed like a midnight lake, everything spotless. I had a big presentation with some Tokyo investor coming up in half an hour, so I was in my best suit, tie knotted, shoes shined, mug of coffee in hand, trying to convince myself I was a guy with his life together, you know? But life, it turns out, had other plans. I hear her voice slicing through the morning calm, and there she is, across the street, 60-something, peroxide hair shellacked into place, powder blue tracksuit, standing on a lawn so tidy you'd think God himself was the gardener. She's got her hands on her hips, glaring at me, at my RV, at my very existence. I'd only lived here 6 months, and we'd exchanged exactly 2 glances, both colder than January. I figured she was just cranky. I was wrong. It was something darker, heavier. I'm standing there, coffee mug halfway up, not even sure how to react. What do you say to that? I gave her a tight, polite wave and half a smile. Just trying to de-escalate, you know? Big mistake. That was gasoline on the fire. Don't you wave at me, she shrieked, and now her voice is cracked and ragged. You think you're so much better than us, parking that monstrosity in your driveway. It's an eyesore. It's bringing down the property values. My Wanderer, brand new, a thing of beauty, she called it an eyesore. I glanced at her house. Peeling paint, lawn gnomes everywhere, like an army of porcelain nightmares. But I bit my tongue. I turned to go inside. My investor call was in 30 minutes. I figured, just let her tire herself out. Maybe she'd get bored. Boy, I did not know who I was dealing with. Suddenly, I hear the roar of an engine. She stormed over to her car, some battered blue sedan that's somehow still running, and flings herself inside. For a second, I figure she's leaving, problem solved. But no, she slams it into drive. The tires shriek, smoke billows out the back, and then her eyes, wild, locked on me, and then the RV. For a split second, I think, no way, she's not actually going to. But she does. The sedan launches straight across the street, not even bothering to curve. I barely leap back, hot coffee splashing all over my suit. Perfect timing. Then, the sound, metal grinding, fiberglass shattering, the sound of a dream being torn in half. Her car embeds itself deep into the Wanderer, right through the mural of the coastline I'd just had painted. Silence. That special kind of silence where every neighbor is peeking out their blinds, but nobody's brave enough to step outside. Then, her door creaks open and she stumbles out. Not limping, not hurt, but looking weirdly triumphant. She points a trembling finger at me, her face a mask of panic so theatrical I almost applaud, and she screams, "He assaulted me. Somebody help. This man attacked me, and I crashed. Call the police." It takes a second for my brain to reboot. I just stand there, coffee soaking into my shirt, heart hammering so loud it's in my ears. 1 second, I'm thinking about business and the open road. The next, I'm the villain in a play I never auditioned for. The sheer audacity. I mean, she just crashed into my property, then immediately tried to flip the script and play the victim. It was like watching a magic trick, except the trick was turning me into the bad guy, live, in front of a growing audience. She keeps screaming, voice now all trembling damsel. "Help me, please." He came at me. I was so scared. While the evidence, the mangled RV, the tire marks in a perfect line from her driveway, tells a completely different story. But I know, standing there, that the first people to arrive aren't going to be CSI. They're going to be regular folks, maybe the cops, and when they see a scared older white lady and a tall black man in a coffee-stained suit, well, you know what story some people are going to see before a word's been spoken. My neighbor Mark is the first to poke his head out. Quiet guy, retired engineer, always building stuff in his garage. He sees the wreck, the chaos, her screaming, me frozen. What in the world happened? Before I can answer, she's already working him. Oh, thank God, she wails, clutching her chest. He threatened me. He was yelling, getting in my face. I tried to get away. I was terrified for my life. Mark just looks shell-shocked, like he walked into a tornado. I try to speak, but all that comes out is, "What are you talking about? You screamed at me and then drove your car straight into my RV." She recoils like I just hit her. See? See how aggressive he is? She cries out to Mark, who looks like he's watching the world's worst tennis match. He's lying, he's twisting it. My hands are up, pleading, "Ma'am, what is wrong with you? You just destroyed my vehicle. I have a presentation in 20 minutes. Wrong move." She latches on. He doesn't care that he almost killed me. He only cares about his big, ugly bus. I realize, right then, that every word I say is a landmine. She'll twist it, spin it, weaponize it. The damage is catastrophic. Side panel caved in, custom mural shredded, kitchen window gone. But worse is the way she's rewriting reality in real time. Mark's looking at me, trying to figure out what's real and what's theater. He finally calls 911. I know, with a sinking feeling, that when the cops arrive, I'm not about to get the benefit of the doubt. She's still screaming, keeping up a steady loop of, "He threatened me." I'm so scared, for anyone listening. I'm silent, focusing on breathing, fighting the tidal wave of rage and fear. I'm a black man in a white neighborhood, and the math isn't in my favor. I pull out my phone and start recording, quietly, holding it at my side like it's a shield. The sirens get closer. The first cop out of the car is young, military haircut, all authority. His eyes flick over the scene, and he goes straight to her. "Ma'am, are you okay? What happened?" Her performance goes up a notch. Now there are tears, trembling hands. This man was out of control. He threatened my grandchildren. I tried to get away. He lunged at me. If it wasn't my life, I'd almost be impressed. Now the cop's eyes land on me, not with concern, but with suspicion, hand hovering near his weapon. "All right, sir, let's hear your side." His tone says, "I already know what happened." I do my best to stay calm. "Officer, that's not what happened." She screamed racist insults at me from her lawn, then got in her car and drove it directly into my RV. He raises an eyebrow, skeptical. "Intentionally? You're accusing her of intentionally ramming your vehicle?" "Yes. Look at the tire tracks. There was no accident here." He's not buying it. "And why would she be screaming at you?" I tell him, word for word, what she said about the disease you people carry. He doesn't write it down. Of course not. That complicates the narrative. She starts amping it up. Now she's hurt, clutching her shoulder, sobbing. My arm. He shoved me. Suddenly it's not just property damage, it's assault. The cop is all business. "Sir, are you telling me you put your hands on this woman?" "No, I never got within 20 feet of her. Ask Mark." Mark's miserable, just shaking his head, caught between a rock and a hard place. "I didn't see anything like that. I just heard the yelling and then the crash." She doubles down. He's covering for him. My shoulder is on fire. The cop tells me to put my hands on my head. It's humiliating, infuriating. I comply. What else can I do? Out of the corner of my eye, I see her. There's a flicker of triumph before she goes back to the pain routine. The cuffs come out. My heart sinks. And then, like a movie twist, a second squad car pulls up. This one is an older cop, salt and pepper mustache, eyes that have seen too much. Sergeant Miller. He sizes up the scene, doesn't rush, looks at the evidence, the tire tracks, the angle of the car, the damage. He talks to the young cop, who calls me the aggressor. Miller frowns. Or is he the guy whose property just got 10 grand of damage done to it? If she was in fear, why'd she drive towards him, not away? He asks the right questions. For the first time, I feel like someone's seeing the truth. He asks for my story. I tell him everything, steady as I can. The sergeant nods, then turns to Mark. "You have a security camera, right?" Mark blinks. "Yeah." Covers the street. The woman's face goes ghost white. Suddenly, all the pain in her arm vanishes. Miller has Mark pull up the video, clear as day. It shows her shouting, me waving, her storming to her car, gunning it, plowing straight into the wanderer. No shove, no assault, just her, pure and simple, on a mission. Silence. Miller turns to her, handcuffs out. "Ma'am, you are under arrest for felony vandalism, reckless endangerment, and filing a false report." She goes ballistic. "This is an outrage. I want your badge. But it's over. The click of those cuffs was the most satisfying sound I've ever heard. The neighbors are all out now, whispering, piecing together the story. Sergeant Miller apologizes for the mess, tells me to get everything in writing and not to worry. He'll make sure the video evidence is front and center. I nod, still in shock, the adrenaline draining out. But I know this isn't over. Insurance, court, the works. I call my brother, Liam. He's in law school, top of his class, civil rights firm on speed dial. He listens, then immediately turns general. Take photos, save the video, don't say a word to her or her family. This is a hate crime, and we're going to make sure everyone knows it. And he's right, because the nightmare is just getting started. The woman's son shows up, full of anger, accuses me of ruining his mother's life. You people always looking for a payday. I keep calm, send him packing. The insurance company tries to play games, wants to make me pay the deductible since the crash was intentional, not an accident. Liam handles it, brings in the video, threatens bad faith. Suddenly, everything's covered, no deductible, rental RV included. Never underestimate the power of a smart lawyer who knows how the system works. But the harassment isn't over. The son keeps pushing, drives by, posts online about the outsider who's suing his poor old mother, stirs up the local Facebook crowd. Some of the neighbors rally, but some swallow the lies. Then it gets darker. Dead squirrel on my porch, nasty messages, old bankruptcy record dug up and posted online, painting me as a con artist. I try to stay above it, but it's hard not to let it eat at you. Mark's wife comes forward, tells us the woman has a long history of racist outbursts, book club stories, neighborhood complaints. A couple other women step up too. Suddenly we have a pattern, a motive, a story bigger than just one bad morning. The DA schedules a meeting. Her lawyer wants a deal. In exchange for pleading guilty to felony vandalism and the false report, they'll drop the hate crime enhancement. Liam says it's a good deal. Guaranteed conviction, restitution, full admission of guilt. No gamble with a jury. I take it. The woman gets probation, counseling, restitution. Her insurance settles with us for a healthy 6 figures. Covers the RV, lost work, emotional distress. She and her son move away. The neighbors breathe a little easier. My driveway feels safer, but not as safe as before. That's the cost of hate. Always a scar, even when you win. I finally get the Wanderer back, good as new. The mural's perfect, but I know where the wound was. I pack up for the trip I'd been dreaming of, look at my quiet street, and feel something shift. They tried to break me, erase me, turn me into a villain, but I fought back, because I had the truth, the evidence, and a few good people in my corner. As I pull out, sun on my face, open road ahead, I know this trip isn't an escape anymore. It's a victory lap. They tried to anchor me with hate, but I'm free. And I can't help but wonder, if you were in my shoes, would you have fought, or would you have backed down? Where do you stand when justice and comfort collide? Let me know below, what would you have done? Was I right to fight, or should I have walked away? Do you think the system worked, or was it just luck? Share your take. I want to hear your story.